Good night. Step in the ring, folks. Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Happy Friday evening. As we say, TGIF. What does TGIF means? Thank the hell it's Friday. Thank God it is Friday, folks. Thank God it's Friday. Because it's been a rough week. And you know what? This is the final in the ring for the week. The first week in January, and we made it through. Those folks who are joining us on Twitter, yes, you, same you. The folks joining us on Twitter, the folks joining us on YouTube. Shout out to the folks who follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our stream. A very good evening to all of you. It's Friday night. It's a night when you take it easy, when you kick back, you watch a movie or two with someone special, and you just have a quiet evening. You unwind. Some folks hang out. Basically, people unwind for the week. And that is what we want to help you do, to unwind for the week and let some of the issues give context to them and help it make sense to you guys. So those of you who are joining us on Facebook, a good evening to each and every one of you as well. Y'all finished minding the people business? Welcome on this side. Let's mind some other people business. So nice to see all of you who are now joining the live stream. I'm tremendously privileged, as always, to have each and every one of you. Imagine it's the 8th day. Am I right? It's the 8th day? It's the 8th day of January already. It wasn't New Year's Day just the other day. Folks, we got to get cracking. Whatever your plans are, whatever your hopes and dreams are, we got to get cracking, because this year ain't waiting for anybody. When the US presidential elections were held in November 3rd, I said, my God, it's so long before Joe Biden gets sworn in. Folks, it is 12 days away. 12 days away. Right? I don't like what is happening in the US. I don't like what is happening in the US. I don't at all. But you know what, folks? Like y'all, I like little dramas. I hope Trump do something else. I don't like to be bored at all, and I'm bored very easy. So I hope to God, please, Trump, please, just don't kill nobody else. I just hoping to God, Trump give us a little drama. We know Biden is gonna be like his predecessor, no drama Obama. But boy, oh boy, what a ride! What a ride Trump has been! What a ride Trump has been, folks. Welcome in the ring. In the ring is where we contend with ideas, we confront the brutal facts, we dismantle misinformation, we oppose prejudice and stereotypes, and we destroy all outdated worldviews. That is what this program is about, folks. That is what this program is about. Back to Trump. I hope Trump do something, anything. And you know what? As the Lord lives, I swear to God, Trump got like 5 other things up his sleeves before the 20th of January. Trump got something up his sleeve before the 20th of January, folks. You watch and see. You watch and see. Trump got something else up his sleeve. You understand me? Trump and going quietly. Trump and going quietly. Right? If it's one thing I like, it's the little drama that comes with Trump. There is never a dull day. There is never a dull day. And you know what? Washington, D.C., like Bella Drum, things just go from 0 to 60 real fast. You understand me? You gotta love the drama that comes with Trump, right? Biden, a little bit like Granger, no drama, right? Finale, on the other hand, finale, on the other hand, folks, it's not a kettle of fish, but you gotta love Trump. Watch your step, Mr. President. You got to love Trump. Trump is pure drama. And you know what? I love it because I'd rather be entertained any day than bored to death. So you gotta love Trump. Folks, welcome. We are still following all that is happening in those United States of America. We are still following all that's happened here. The world was shocked just day before yesterday when you had that insurgency, some persons call it a coup attempt in the US Congress, where supporters of the Republican Party and of the Republican President, Mr. Donald Trump, stormed the Congress. Folks were rightfully shocked, rightfully appalled by what transpired, and we are still following all of those events that occurred in Washington, D.C., where Congress is. And we have been tracking some of that, just some of that. And there was a particular video we didn't get to show last evening, but there were persons who asked us to show it this evening. And what it demonstrates in large measure is how white privilege, in a sense, operate. And in a larger context, how Trump kind of egged on these supporters. And when you had all of this insurrection happening in Congress the day before yesterday, Trump and his posse were very nonchalantly watching it on television, dancing to Gloria. Folks, I want us to take a look at that. And I am going to give you guys some comments when we come back on the other end.
I think we're minus a couple of seconds here, guys. Check it out. Tune in for the last 30 minutes. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗥𝗶𝗴 an actual fighter, one of the few, a real fighter. Thank you, Mark. Yes, have the courage to do the right thing. Fight. Thank you, guys. Just really appreciate all the love and support. It's pretty amazing.
Yep. And there you have it, folks. There you have it. There you have it. That was what happened. When was the insurrection happening, there are those folks right there, just watching on, very nonchalantly. It's another day in the Trump administration. That's his son. I think that's Eric Trump, if I'm memory serves me right. And there is that lady dancing, Gloria. In the United States of America. In the United States of America. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Right? That is where some people killing themselves to run and go. Right? If you want to go, God bless you. Shout out to my family in the States. All right? Shout out to my family in the States and all those in the Guyanese diaspora, Rickford Burke and crew, all those persons in Region 11. Shout out to you guys. We're thankful for the little remittances and so on, but y'all had Trump, right? I mean, we only got air fund. We're telling you, we only got air fund, but y'all got Trump. I know, I know who in the West position. We may argue, right? Who in a worse position, right? Y'all got 𝗵𝗴. We got 𝗵𝗴 rather. Y'all got Trump. Who we got?
We are not in a witch hunting exercise. We are not in any witch hunting exercise. Let me make that very clear. We are going to act professionally. The commissioners assured us that he and his team would continue to act professionally. They would act professionally.
Yes, folks, as I was saying, y'all got Trump. Y'all got Trump. We got 𝗵𝗴, the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils. Man said, no witch hunting. 1,000 persons fired from the public sector thus far, 5 months in. And they ain't finished yet. 5 months in. Right? So the Americans got Trump and we have 𝗵𝗴, the lesser of two evils. Right? The lesser of two evils. Right? But you know what? We don't only got Trump. We have other people.
Usually go home. I'm sorry, I'm stifling with this thing. Even the dome. I'm sorry, I'm stifling with this thing. Even the dome. I'm sorry, I'm stifling with this thing. Even the dorm. I'm sorry, I'm stifling with this thing. Even the dorm students who can usually go home on weekends, we're not allowing that anymore.
Oh yes. You got Trump, but we got 𝗵𝗴. Us other people. Folks, it's Friday. You got Trump, and we got 𝗵𝗴 plus other people. 𝗵𝗴 plus. Did I say we have the less of two evils? I'm not too certain. Folks, I'm welcoming this evening in the ring none other than one of my favorite persons. 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗴. And one of his favorite persons is 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Member of Parliament, a very good evening. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me again in the ring.
Well, you know, once in the ring, things turn up. They said things turn up till they overturn. Member of Parliament, 𝗵𝗲, employee of the Ministry of Local Government, 𝗵𝗲. We are talking about the distribution of the COVID cash grant. If there is anything that has ever vexed Guyanese more than the PPP, it's the distribution of the COVID cash grant by the PPP. Again, I see.
First of all, tonight I'm not an employee of the ministry for tonight. But I must be. I guess I am probably the worst employee they have there right now in their eyes, because they seem not to want to take the action that they said they were going to take. And if I may just update you and update your viewers, the last communication I had was they were going to set up a special tribunal to hear my matter, to hear the charges that they laid before me. And you know what's shocking? The same person who charged me is the very same person who's setting up the tribunal. So imagine you are charging me and you are also going to determine whether I am guilty or not.
He's judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
I'm waiting patiently in my corner. I have my defense prepared. I also have my defense lawyer.
You out in the open. You didn't know. You wide out in the open. You didn't know, Carter.
I'm enjoying the ride, watching the ride and enjoying the ride.
Watching the ride. So, Ganesh, we're watching this issue as well. This ride called the distribution of the COVID cash grant, and people are upset. People are irate. People are mad. It seems as though there was no trouble in distributing the COVID cash grant in the PPP strongholds. But once you got into APNU AFC areas or places perceived to be APNU AFC areas, then the rules seem to have changed radically. And as we go through this discussion this evening, I'm going to quote for you snippets of what people have circulated on social media. One person, for instance, sent me on WhatsApp. She said, I would just like you to highlight this information. The PPP were in Grove on the East Bank, giving out 20,000 instead of 25,000. And this is somebody who has integrity and credibility who relayed this information to.
But it's not just that person. Many other persons communicated with us and indicated that they're getting not the 25,000, some are getting the 20,000, and some are getting 15,000. When the COVID cash grant was shared in my area, and my area is a perceived People's Progressive Party area, I live probably in the heart of the PPP. And when the distributors came to my house, they gave me the money in an envelope. They didn't open the envelope and check the money. I opened it myself and checked it. And I got the $25,000. And one of the girls said that you got Irfan Ali money. I said, no, you're getting it wrong. I got a part of what President Granger promised. And I know that President Granger was in discussion with his people to give $100,000 to every household. So that is an idea that was birthed by the coalition. And in fact, if I may just come off track a little, to say to you, Mr. Duncan, that every initiative that this PPP installed regime is putting before the Guyanese people are initiatives that were already conceived and in the pipeline by the coalition. It just happened that they are executing it in a manner that is partisan, a manner that is biased, and a manner that does not reflect the true democracy of our country, and one does not reflect distributing to all of our Guyanese brothers and sisters. The coalition would have never done that. They would have absolutely never done that. We spent 5 years in government, and our track record is one that we are proud of. When it comes to infrastructure, we have touched every part of Guyana. Whether you are perceived as PPP or not, we have looked after you. We fixed roads in stronghold of the PPP. We fixed roads in stronghold of the AFC. We did not attempt to just sideline any community. We believed in good governance. We practiced good governance, and we continued on the path of good governance. And we will continue like that too, because when you are a government for all Guyanese. You're the government for selected few. When you're the president for all. When you are a minister, you're the minister for all. And we did that. And they're living examples that one can attest to. Wakenham is a PPP community. We gave Wakenham 100% asphaltic concrete roads. Leg1 is a PPP community. We gave Leg1 100% asphaltic concrete roads. We gave them lights. We gave them potable water and electricity, better than what they had. Tushin Phase 2, that's the PPP stronghold area. We gave them 100% asphaltic concrete roads. Pardon me?
I was only adding that the river defenses were built up very nicely at Leguan as well under the APNU FC government.
Yes, I'm coming to there. I was dealing with roads, light and water first. Zealot Sugar Welfare Scheme, road, light and water. We provided that as a coalition. Lenora Hospital Road, light, water, everything we have given them. And we have not sidelined any community. We did it in Denamstel too. There are many other communities that were in a deplorable state, but 5 short years was not sufficient for us to fix all. And we did as much as we could have, including the city defense, as you mentioned, even at Rumzek area in Region 3. A lot of city defense work was done there. A lot of everything that we could have done infrastructure-wise, we did for the betterment or the bettering of Guyanese population. When it comes to social services, old age pension, we increased old age pension. When it comes to salary increase, we started the increase in public servants' salary.
Yes.
Perhaps this 5-year period that the coalition was there is the period that you saw the greatest increase in public servants' salary. We created that avenue where we forced the hands of the private sector for them to match us and pay their staff better wages and salary. They didn't like that because they want to continue keeping their staff on the low and not allowing them to rise to the occasion. But when coming back to what you said about this COVID-19 cash grant, since this process started, we have been calling out this government. We have been calling out Nigel Darmlal, and we have been calling out 𝗧𝗵𝗲 for what he's doing. He is simply not looking after the well-being and welfare of the people of this country. And he is choosing to give 25,000 to people who he perceived to be his supporters. But you know how much of their own supporters they missed in the process of being vindictive, in the process of them being partisan, in the process of them being biased. They missed a lot of their very own supporters, and they are being chastised for it. But if they had done it in a manner where they captured every household, if they had done it in a manner where they respected the people and do what is written on paper, we would not have had this scenario. And here, if there's one thing that this government is known for, is to say one thing on paper and do the other. They don't ever do what they have on paper. What they have on paper is just a showcase. And they believe that we are fools, but we are not. We know exactly what they're about. Thievery.
Yeah. Fantastic. Folks who are now joining us, welcome in the ring. I have with me this evening Member of Parliament 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and we are talking about the distribution of COVID cash grant. Y'all like freeness, but you don't get into it. You got to share the live stream, folks. Comment as much as you want, but share the live stream. Ganesh, I want to read another comment because you mentioned households, that this money must be given to household. Hear this comment by Ms. Henry on social media. To whom it may concern, I would like persons responsible for the distribution of this $25,000 to define the term per household for me. I want to know if I lack comprehension skills. 3 sets of persons living in one yard have their own families and are being told one household can get the money. While this is happening in Friendship, East Coast, Demerara, in neighboring villages that favor the PPP, they are giving each family.
They said at first that every family will get. That's what they said. Every family will receive $25,000. Then after they would have exhausted the $4.5 billion, which involved a lot of thievery and a lot of skullduggery, they changed them out and said primary household. And then they said,
I want to pause here for a second, because that 4.5 billion you're talking about is monies that we help you, me, and our colleagues approved in the National Assembly for the Guyanese people. So it's not PPP money.
Yes. And that $4.5 billion was to cater for 180,000 households. But we did not know that they were going to take monies from that 4.5 billion to pay their cronies to go and distribute this money, that they're paying a coordinator $150,000 a month, that they're paying area distributors $100,000 a month, that they're paying the actual persons in the field $50,000 a month. We did not know that that is what they were doing. So they took a large chunk of the money to do logistical work. A large chunk of the money was to give their cronies and give their PPP lackeys as persons who worked. And what kind of system do they have in place for proper accountability so that we know if they say they have 10 staff, we can say it is 10 people they paid. They don't have any fixed apparatus in place for accountability purpose. And the Auditor General, I hope that he is going to be honest and he's going to do a proper investigation, because this Auditor General, he seems to be bent on one thing and one thing only, and that is being in bed with the PPP. I don't know what is it that the PPP is giving him or what is it that was promised to him, but he is holding an office that is supposed to be impartial, an office that is supposed to be void of political interference, an office that is supposed to serve the Guyanese people and work honestly in his doctrine and induction in terms of reasoning of public finances. But we are not seeing that from him. We're seeing him being very selective. We're seeing him being partisan. We're seeing him being biased, one-sided, and basically in bed with the People's Progressive Party. And he must be called out for that. He must be called out for that.
Ganesh, let me stick a pin there from the discussion of the COVID cash grant, because I know you all had the Public Accounts Committee recently convened by Parliament. We know that David Patterson, 𝗵𝗵 MP, is the chairman of that committee, but I also know that the Auditor General is part of that whole mechanism there. What sense did you get from him of whether he is partisan or he's a professional?
No, well, I have seen from his facial reaction that he's prepared to be partisan. But the opposition side, we don't have dumb people sitting at PAC. We have people that understand the system, people who are a part of the system, and people who are involved in financial accountability before. So we are not going to allow him to distract us, and we're not going to allow him to operate in a manner that is basically on the ground of misguiding the Public Accounts Committee. But the first meeting we had was basically housekeeping rules and regulations we were dealing with, putting basic housekeeping rules in place as we go forward. And Monday we're going to have our, if I can term it, our first official meeting where we're going to start to examine public finances for the year 2016. We're going to start with the Guyana Defense Force, followed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, followed by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. We're expected to start at 10 a.m. sharp, and we will go until 6 p.m. And we're going to see how much we're going to complete by then. And we are going to work throughout the day. No lunch break, no take a 5 here, take a 5 there. We're going from 10 to 6. And we're expected to do a lot on that day. We are going to measure the amount of work we have done on that day to know how is it that we're going to proceed as days go by for the Public Accounts Committee. But I am not going to be surprised if the Auditor General is to be in a way that is partisan. But I can tell you this, Sherrod, we are keeping abreast with previous Public Accounts Committee. We are reading the minutes, the records of the previous Public Accounts Committee, and if he should contradict something that he agreed to in the past, it will basically conclude that he is biased in the manner he's operating.
All right. So back to the COVID cash grant. Thank you for that response. This is a common one that we keep hearing all the time. This is a Miss Flu again on social media. She says, why is it the 25,000 cash grant can be given to people in a rent house? After all, I am living in it and I'm paying for it. Technically, I have a right to get my money. I thought was an outreach to all Guyanese people. I thought was an outreach to help all Guyanese people. Why does
Sherrod, this COVID cash grant is perhaps the most. This COVID cash grant is perhaps the most corrupt operation in the most recent past, and it is ongoing. So it's probably the largest skullduggery in our country. $7 billion in 3-4 months. It's a lot of money, and it is being dispersed in a manner that is very, very, very unfortunate. I am saddened by the fact of how it is happening, because it is our Guyanese brothers and sisters that are disturbed by it, and I am very much hoping that nothing of the sort reoccur in this manner. If there is any reoccurrence, then a proper structure should be put in place where we involve the NDCs, where we involve the elected neighborhood democratic councillors, so that they can play a meaningful role in ensuring that it is done in that people are represented, people know directly who are there and who's not there and the likes. The NDC is the best way we have to start. We have to start with them because they are elected by the people. They know the area, they know the household. Take, for example, you have an NDC like 𝗧𝗵𝗲. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 is an NDC by itself. There are constituencies that compose, they're constituencies that are a part of the NDC, what the word I'm looking for. You put the NDC, the constituencies together and you get the one NDC. And each constituency have elected representatives. So there's a catchment area that one focuses on. And that catchment area is what the focus will be, and you can capture each individual. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. And you will be able to capture the household. But no, the PPP sees it differently. They see that when they go to Lenora, walk with your ID card, you're going to get money. When they go to 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and Tushin, walk with your ID card, you're going to get money. That's how they're doing it. But when they come to places like the Amstel, or they come to places like Park Harmony, or they come to places like Region 4, Georgetown, oh God, there are a set of criteria you got to follow. You got to see the people in kitchen. You got to see how much food they cook. You got to see their bedroom. You got to see their bathroom. And if there's 2 or 3 families, they will see 2 or 3 bathrooms or 2 or 3 kitchen. These people are miraculous. They're miraculous, honestly. We can't afford to have the PPP in office for 5 years. We'll be doomed.
No, and we won't. And here's a similar comment, Ganesh. Here's a similar comment. This is from a Miss 𝗶𝗴 𝗁. Again, folks on social media, if you're now joining us, welcome to the ring. Member of Parliament Ganesh 𝗵𝗲 is walking us through issues concerning the COVID cash grant, and we invite you to share the live stream. So this is Miss 𝗶𝗴 𝗁, again on Facebook. She says, my biggest issue is people that going around sharing the 25,000 cash grant. Imagine they go to a yard that got a set of tenants living and give the whole yard, and then to only give my landlord the money. What goes to one goes for all.
Exactly. And those are the evidence. This is not make-up story. It's not a movie we star in. You have the tangible evidence to substantiate the claim. These people are barbaric. These people are an embarrassment to the state. They're worse than Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is in a country that is structured. So even though he attempted that mischief the other day, he did not get through with it, because they have a structure and they have systems in place that they can deal with him if he steps out of line. You see Twitter banned his account permanently. You know, they have systems in place that you cannot easily get over. So even though you're the president, don't believe you're all-time king. But we have a system here in Guyana that's fragile. It's very fragile. And you have the PPP that is taking full advantage of it. And because, as I said to you, the person that is responsible to deal with the public accounts is basically in bed with them. We saw during that 𝗧𝗵𝗲 fiasco, that very Auditor General was hugging up 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and the others, drinking alcohol. That picture was public. That's not hearsay. That's CA. We saw it. So we have to know with your own eyes. And even if I think even blind people saw it too. So we have to, Sharon, understand that we have a system that is very fragile, and we have to stay on top of things. We as the opposition, we have to keep our eyes open and our ears to the fence. And we got to mind the business. And when we mind the business, we must be able to call them out for all their infractions. We must be able to call them out. And I think the opposition has been doing a damn good job so far. Because it's not a little bit of energy to push to get a lot of things done. But the amount of skullduggery is so much. The skullduggery is so much that you need probably 50 more of you, Sharon, and 50 more of me to ensure that they are held accountable for what they do.
True.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. As I say to people, we have 270,000 legitimate votes. The PVP, they have 233,000 questionable votes. They can't find 233 people that supported them. But you ask them how they got the votes, and they wouldn't want to tell you how they got the votes. How they got 233,000 votes, they wouldn't tell us. But we can tell them. We can tell them that they got through skullduggery. We can tell them that they got it through fraud. We can tell them that because we found it fraud. We did the national recount. We found 49 ballot boxes without any statutory document to validate the votes inside. We found that people that voted. We presented certified evidence to support corruption, the fraud that happened in election 2020.
Yeah.
We submitted those evidence to 𝗧𝗵𝗲. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 chairperson acknowledged there is fraud in the system.
Correct.
She acknowledged that these issues are serious.
And ought to be investigated.
She
Correct.
acknowledged it.
Correct.
It's just that she operated in a manner as though she didn't understand the job. Because no time can I be the head of any organization to make a pronouncement on something. And I know that it is riddled with fraud. And I still go and make an announcement as though it's credible. I can't do that. And there is where I think she erred. But she acknowledged that there is fraud. She acknowledged that certified evidence was provided for her. None of them in the PPP wants to ask that they want us to call them legitimate. They want us to say that they're legal and legitimate. Your legitimate, your legal, this will be determined after the petition. And the petition must go through. The petitions go through because Guyanese of all walks, black, blue, red, yellow, or green, you want to know what happened in your country. You have to know what has happened in your country. You're entitled to know what has happened in our country because it is our democratic right. It's our interests that is there. And I want to know where are the documents for those 49 ballot boxes. I want to know how so much dead people name could have scratched off from the official list of electors, which indicate that they voted. I want to know where are the missing oaths of identity. I want those presiding officers to answer. They have to answer. The presiding officers must be summoned to court to answer for those infractions. If not, they're equally.
I don't know if events went by so fast that a lot of people have missed it. But when the 40 ballot boxes and the information could not be accounted for, those folks, those 𝗧𝗵𝗲 staff were summoned to a meeting by the chief elections officer. They were summoned to a meeting. Nobody turned up.
They show up. They refused to show up.
And these were ballot boxes from PPP areas on the East Coast. None of them turned up.
Mr. Duncan, we cannot go back to an election without knowing what has happened in elections 2020.
Correct.
And I hope that the Chief Justice is on your program. If not, you should send her an invite. Let her know that Guyanese want to know what
I want Chief Justice on Planet Sing in the ring.
Exactly. Guyanese people deserve to know. And tell me and go and throw away this election petition on some technicality of who was served yesterday and who was served today and who's going to be served tomorrow. Service to the people is what's the problem here. Guyanese people want to know what happened. And you said that we must bring it in a petition. Well, you have the petition for you. So here the petition. Let evidence come forward. People come forward and testify. And let us know what has happened in elections 2020. We deserve that. It was a rough 5-month period. We were riddled with the COVID-19 pandemic and also the election stalemate. And we went through a lot. 100 and well, during that period, only 21 persons lost their life. Right now, we got 100 and how much people done dead? 160 something already dead. It's only fair that we give the Guyanese people truth. And the truth can only come out if the election petition is being heard.
Very well, Danish. Right back to the COVID cash grant. and the wicked PPP folks. We see your comments there. Folks, like and share. You're joining us on Twitter. Give us a retweet. You're joining us on YouTube. Reshare. We're talking about COVID cash grant and the wickedness of the PPP. Gonna share this other comment. Similar to the others, this is Miss Abrams on Facebook. She says, my concern is that Better for Wacton, BV, hasn't received their 25,000 as yet. And I know that Monrepo and LBI received theirs already. I would be grateful if someone in authority looks into this situation.
These people better know. Everybody, you better know. Election will be sooner than later. And if we make the mistake, oh my God, Sherrod, what you have just done to me there.
I wanted to give you a shot in your life. That is the culprit for the distribution.
Yeah. These people need to know that an election is upon us. We have to bring back the coalition. Well, I shouldn't say bring back. The coalition is there. They stole it.
Yes.
So we have to take it back.
Yep.
The borrowed robes that they are clothed in. They are currently clothed in borrowed robes.
Borrowed robes, my brother. Borrowed robes. Yes.
They stole it. Robes. It's not like if the people of Guyana lent them. They stole it. Their barbaric action, their devious, conniving action, duplicitous, mischievous, malevolent behavior should not be condoned with. And Guyanese must call out. You don't have to be afraid to call them out. Call them for who they are. And I often tell people that the PPP don't care of this country or nobody in this country. They don't understand what it is to love one another. They don't understand what it is to build a country for your children. They don't understand what it is to build for the future generation. They are led by a man with neither a chick nor a child, a dog nor a cat. What it preserve for the future generation, he does not. And all of them, they have to subject themselves to that very individual whom I'm told is very sick at this point in time.
Yeah, and let me just say that in following up on that issue, because you know we can't throw a stone if you got a glass house. Ganesh is a father of a brilliant young man. Ganesh has a lovely son growing up very nicely. I have 3 sons. Proceed, Ganesh.
I want to pause to say that I was told that that creature is ill, and all fairness to sickness which can come to anybody's door, I wish him a speedy recovery. And in all fairness to the fact that sickness can hit at anybody's door, I wish him a speedy recovery. But that does not take away from the fact that he's a wicked demon.
Yeah.
Does not take away from the fact that he's a wicked demon. And he has been holding Guyanese at ransom for the longest while.
He is sick, just like some of the people who are commenting on the stream. He's sick. Very, very sick. Ganesh, I want to raise another issue.
Let me tell you something, Sherrod. They gotta send the troll out, you know. They gotta send the trolls out. So you're gonna have people who are gonna put comments that are favored to us and those who are unfavored to us. But like you have always said, you want to go against what's said in the ring, then come in the ring.
Yes, Ganesh.
In the ring.
I am hoping in 2021, I am hoping that Mike Adams and 𝗧𝗵𝗵 and the other guys, they have the testicular fortitude to step in the ring. You understand me? They would stay on the string.
Intellectual attitude.
They would stay on the string and they would talk all kinds of madness, right? But to be brave and to be courageous and step
but those
in the
could
ring.
Very well be those could very well be fake accounts too. Because if it's one thing we know from the PPP is they are accustomed to dealing with a lot of fakes. And you know they create these fake accounts. And I remember when we took office in 2015, it was Robertson Bed House in Queenstown had 11 phone lines. 11 phone lines in a house. What is he doing with 11 phone lines? 11 people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not 11,
He
not
probably got a
11
call
phones,
center.
not 11 phones, not 11 phones, you know. 11 phone lines.
He got a call center.
I guess he was the testing ground for call fun.
He got a call center. Ganesh, there's this issue of Region 8's RDC, which the PPP is refusing to operationalize. It has been, 5 months since the results have been known, and the PPP have refused to operationalize the Region 8 RDC. What the hell is happening?
And what they're doing there is depriving the people of Region 8 the democratic right to representation from local bodies. The people voted. They voted in regional elections and in national elections. The elections are called general and regional elections. That's why when you go to vote, you vote 2 places. One time at the top, one time at the bottom. At the top, when you vote there, you vote for the president. You vote for the president and his cabinet. That list of electors, you vote for that. The parliamentarians, and so you vote for them at the top of the ballot paper. At the bottom of your ballot paper, you vote for your regional councillors. And results came out since August 2nd. Region 1 has an RDC, 2 got an RDC, 3 got an RDC, 4 got an RDC, 5 has an RDC, 6 has an RDC, 7 has an RDC, 9 has an RDC, and 10 has an RDC. 8 does not have an RDC. Yeah. Now let me tell you why there is no RDC there.
Tell us, Ganesh, tell us.
Region 1 was won by the PPP, and Region 2 was won by the PPP outright. Region 3 was run by the PPP outright. When I say outright, I mean they have majority of the seats. They have more than majority. They have an absolute majority, you know, put it that way. I think in Region 1, the coalition has 3 or 4 seats, while the PPP have, I think, 6 or 7. And my numbers may not be correct. But the difference between the APNU, AFC, and PPP in these regions are bigger than 2 or 3 points. Region 3, Region 4, the APNU AFC 1, which is the largest region, and the coalition has a greater amount of seats than PPP. Region 5, PPP 1, Region 6, the PPP 1. Region 7, the coalition 1. Region 8, or before I come to Region 8, Region 1, PPP 1, and Region 10, the coalition 1. But in Region 8, there is a shared amount of seats between coalition and the PPP. And the one seat that is the determining seat was won by the LJP, the Liberty and Justice Party.
Well, that's true.
So the Liberty and Justice Party councillor that was extracted to represent his party's interests in the region is basically saying that he wants a coalition chairman. He is prepared to support a chairman in the AFC side, and the PPP don't want that. So what they're trying to do right now is to go around from 𝗏𝗏 to get that man removed, that LJ councillor to be removed from the who was extracted already. But listen to me, Shepard, it cannot happen because his name is already gazetted as a councillor extracted to serve. He has to now be sworn in, and the only way he can be removed is if he chooses to resign, is if he happens to die, or if he is pronounced by a doctor to be incapable of performing his duties. There is no recall legislation that deals with RDC councillors. So 𝗏𝗏 and his leadership there, they need to recognize that you have to give the people what they rightfully deserve, and that is their local activity which the Regional Democratic Council swear the people, let's keep the business going. You cannot deprive a region of their representation.
Facts. Facts. Those are the facts. You cannot.
Exactly.
Ganesh, we're running up the program time. Very
now, what 𝗏𝗏 is doing is stymieing development. What he's doing is stymieing democracy. And
he was never developed. That's the problem. Just like some of these people like Mike Adams and so forth in the comments and so forth, he was not developed. So he can bring the development to do what you know.
And let me tell you something for 𝗏𝗏. There is an NDCs are independent organs and function with under the guise and under the leadership of a local government commission. 𝗏𝗏 refused to constitute the commission and dictating to the NDC how they must spend money, how they must do X, Y, and Z. He's dictated to them because he has one interest. That interest that he has is to get companies that are aligned to him so that they can get contracts and give him back money from that. That's how these people are operating. Contractors got to mind them now.
Oh, Ganesh, this is an issue happening at your end. The wicked, fraudulent, illegal, dirty PPP said they were opening back the sugar estates. You remember that? Remember that promise?
Yes.
On the 31st day of December, they fired 60 persons from 𝗏𝗏 estate. Right? But they're opening back the sugar estates. 60 persons, the PPP, Danny Singh and others, 60 persons, they're fired from Wales, right? They said they're doing a gas to shore project, and yet persons are asking to see the environmental studies which support Wales estate as a gas to shore destination. What are your thoughts? Because I know you are Region 3.
No, well, first of all, it goes to show the hypocrisy and the duplicitous behavior of the People's Progressive Party.
Who?
It goes to show the hypocrisy and duplicitous behavior of the PPP. When they were in opposition, the sugar workers were their gods. The sugar workers were better than sliced bread.
Oh,
the sugar workers were the best of the best. And nobody should touch the sugar workers. The sugar workers deserve this. The sugar workers deserve that. The sugar workers get gold and diamond and silver. And now they themselves are terminating sugar workers, terminating their jobs, terminating them from their jobs. They themselves are firing sugar workers. And I hope those very 60 sugar workers, they see what has happened there. And they see the duplicitous and hypocritical behavior of the People's Progressive Party. And yes, we have seen the study that was done to cater for gas to shore project and to facilitate it through the Wales estate. We must, because we have to know if it is safe and secure, we have to know if it is economically feasible, and we have to know if it's environmentally correct. We have to know these things. We don't want to go into a project that can cost us more in the long run. Imagine if those
next thing block the whole of Wales.
Not only Wales, but all the other communities that it has to pass through. You understand? You have to understand that you have
to build a proper road. They want gas to shore.
And right now, the West Bank roads need serious work. Jill is gallivanting all over the place, checking roads, out. But what we got to do, Sherrod, every one of them area we're going to check the budget to see if we put them inside to do.
Gallivanting and pomposetting himself. And instead of building the roads, he had hotel put up. And he building roads by house. Gail see
the man happy hotel.
Yes, sir.
Which hotel? Which hotel he at? Sleeping hotel? Is sleeping hotel there?
He's there all over. All them short time places. It's long down the Bangway Hotel. It's long now. Yeah, somebody telling you? It's just now it come to light and he has acknowledged.
Yes, he has acknowledged.
Ganesh, the other day I saw.
Let me tell you something. I think that Indar would have been a better person to head that ministry than Ejil. And I'm going to tell Indar that
Ejil don't even have the temperament to head a church. Much more ministry.
I'm going to tell Ejil, I'm going to tell Indar the next time I see him that why you should be going there instead of Ejil.
You might be watching right now. You might got a lot of friends watching. To see, I'll tell Indar. Ganesh, yes, there's a project that has started somewhere in Region 6, fixing the roads. And I saw an interview with them recently, I think on DPI. When I looked at the roads weren't bad. But of course, they are playing to their base, right? I want to show you a road that really needs attention, just for a few seconds, and then we'll discuss how they have gone about their developmental work in a very, very partisan manner. Here is that, just a piece of that video. Then we're going to come back.
Issue. We have a resident here. She's her views on some of the challenges they're facing the back environment in our home.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a resident of Fayetteville. So this has been an ongoing issue for a long time. I made several attempts to get in contact with people in authorities to come and visit the conditions of the road and stuff. It is very hard because for me, I'm living behind here. I have a vehicle before Christmas. My vehicle is in the yard, and everybody knows that is a time that everybody want to be out and do whatever they got to do. I can't even go anywhere without having to walk out with my long boots, catching bus. Sometimes you wear the long boots and go. I reached Town and I haven't even noticed I get mud till at the back of my pants. It's very, very difficult.
Here's an area, Ganesh, if anywhere, and that was our MP 𝗵𝗲 𝗥𝗶𝗴 hard at work there in 𝗧𝗵𝗲, talking with residents, getting the information so she can make the representations to the National Assembly. So I saw that road there. The road wasn't in bad shape. If there's anywhere that needs attention urgently, this should be one of those places. What are your thoughts?
I don't think that's a road. I don't think that's a road. That's a back dam. So when you're in the rice business and crop time, when you got to take your tractor with kale into the back dams to go and plow your rice field, or to go and let in water or let out water, whatever you do in the rice production industry, that's the type of road or the type of dam you have to travel on. One tractor can pass there. No bus can go in there, car can't go in there. Nobody can use their vehicles in there other than a tractor. And that is the road that Jay should have been visiting. That is the very road he should have been visiting. And there are other areas. That's why somebody said this thing, Sharon. I can't remember if it was on your program, but you paint a picture like what they're doing with housing, Ministry of Housing. They take out a photograph with about 10 houses in the land.
That was the teacher from 𝗵𝗲.
The teacher from 𝗵𝗲, yes, the teacher from 𝗵𝗲. Yeah. You take out a picture with 10 houses. You take out a picture with 10 houses, and then you put up a PPP, developing housing schemes, the best housing schemes, and you check all those housing schemes that they developed. Tushin, Skillock, Parfait. 50% of the infrastructure is in a deplorable state. Deplorable state. You check the Airfanali Highway. I call it the Airfanali Highway. Right in Region 3 that you have to drive in to catch Parfait, the new road there at Schoonard. If you see those holes, Sharon, you basically got to get you can't drive in the hole with your bus or car. A tractor wheel got to go over there, or else that you're gonna damage your vehicle. These people, they do the things in a rush manner, hazard, rush and rash. That's how they operate. and nothing that they have built lasts any proper time. Nothing. Not one road in 𝗵𝗴 scheme you could show me that is done at least 90% good. Not one road in 𝗬𝗵𝗲 or 𝗧𝗵𝗵 to show me that was done 90% good. But I can show you in 𝗬𝗵𝗲 phase 2 roads that were done by the coalition since 2016, and today it's spick and span, up very strong. I could show you Wakeman Road, I could show you 𝗥𝗶 Road, I could show you 𝗧𝗵𝗵 phase 2 road, I could show you this the Sugar Welfare Scheme Road, I could show you Lenora Hospital Road, I could show you Jairam Dam in Janasi, I could show you a series of roads in Region 3 that were done by this coalition in 2016, and up to now they stand up very strong. Not a single hole in the Indian.
Yep. Because Dan, that is testament to the hard work of the afternoon AFC administration. Unlike this wicked, fraudulent government, who've been in power for 23 years before and had little, if anything, to show for it. And now they've come back and they've proceeded with the same kind of foolishness and skullduggery, thiefishness, scampishness, and corruption.
Mr. Duncan, I say again to the people of this country, maybe it's happening for the best that they now have the ability to draw a conclusion after doing a comparison. You have now a PPP installed government that has forced themselves onto us, that were installed by a confused 𝗥𝗶 chairlady, and a government that basically is showing their true colors, reference distribution of resources to the people of this country, and you can now compare them to the APNU AFC, and you can do deductive reasoning or inductive reasoning, whichever one is applicable, and you will be able to ascertain who really had or have your interests at heart. You will be able to do that kind of thinking. You had a coalition government that focused heavily on education, because we believe the foundation to a good nation is education. We supported education from the outset. We improved the facilities of the schools. We believe that environment had to be conducive for learning. We rehabilitated schools across the country. We built new schools. We basically made the classroom more conducive to learning. We cleaned up the environment. We focused on providing resources to the teachers. We increased their salaries. We focused on getting them to CPCE and the University of Guyana so they can be trained properly to educate our students. The results that we got from CXC and SSE, the National Grade 6 Assessment, it is second to none. They are the best results the country has ever had under the coalition, and it is because of the focus we had on education. We also simultaneously dealt with infrastructure, which we spoke at length. There was great focus on health, so that because that is the nation's wealth. Health is the nation's wealth. We improved our hospitals. Was there any case at the Georgetown Hospital where two mothers were lying on one bed under the coalition? None.
Nope.
We dealt with regional hospitals. We decentralized services. We focused on making these hospitals better equipped with resources and medicine for the people's benefit. We focused on their interests. We, at the housing, we were focusing on infrastructure enhancement schemes. We were focusing on basically getting a scheme up and running, knowing that when we allocate a lot, it is a lot to a person that they can move in. Not like what the PPP doing right now, they give out, they said 3,600 house lot, and not one you can allocate. Not one you can locate, because all the areas they're still full with cane, sugar cane growing. No demarcation was done. No surveying was done. So you don't even know if those lots they exist there. Social services, I told you already, we dealt with increasing pension, increasing public assistance and the like. Those are things, you see, the APNU AFC, we believed in dealing with institutions, strengthening institutions, and we believe in uplifting people, grassroots people, making them stronger. The PPP, they're about filling their pockets and they're about filling their pockets, and they're about filling the private sector friends and cronies that they have, their pockets. On that note, Sherrod, I want to say to you, good night. Good night to all your viewers, and I trust that we will have a remarkable 2021, and we will have a 2021 that will see the reinstating of the coalition in the seat of government. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Member of Parliament 𝗧𝗵𝗲. It's my privilege having you. As we go, folks, I want to remind you, those of you who are Alliance for Change members, there's a special event on tomorrow night virtually. We're talking about ethnic power and racism in Guyana, forging a way forward. And Attorney at Law Nigel Hughes will be the feature presenter on that topic. It's open only for Alliance for Change members, unfortunately, and special guests. For those persons who are Alliance for Change members, AFC members, you can find the link to that on my Facebook page, or you can head over to AFC Facebook page and you can find information concerning that event. There's tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. and it's virtual. Folks, the Minister of Health told us today that there were 37 cases of COVID-19 in the school system. This is school children. 37 school children and teachers, 37. This is just school children and teachers, 37. So as we go, I want to encourage you to continue to social distance, to wear your mask, to sanitize, to watch the large numbers in terms of gatherings and so forth. We encourage you to look at and to practice all of the regulations that are in place for your safety and that of your friends, family, and loved ones. We want you guys to stay safe. And for the PPP folks, we wish that you guys would have the testicular fortitude, the balls, the intellectual aptitude to step into the ring. A very good evening to all, except the PPP folks in the comment section in this live. Good night, guys. Stay safe. See you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.